When it comes to found footage movies, they usually classify under the horror genre, and it's been that way for many of these types of films, but there's a movie that definitely stands out from the rest of these movies. This movie is called 0 Day, released in 2003 and directed by Ben Coccio. It's a really disturbing found footage movie about two high school students who document their plan to shoot up their school. The film was inspired by the Columbine High School shooting, but I think there is more to this film when it comes to the motives and psychology behind the two main characters. So for this video, I'm going to talk about why this film is so underrated and disturbing, and look at the realism and the way the film shows the dark truth of school shootings. So let's talk about the two main characters, Andre Kriegman and Cal Gabriel. We aren't really given any information about these two's past other than that they are best friends. And the opening credit sequence does show pictures and videos of Andre and Cal at a young age. But at one point when they're in high school, they both come up with a plan called 0 Day, which at first meant that if the weather was 0 degrees, they would shoot up their school. But since they couldn't actually do it due to Andre having diarrhea, 0 Day would be on May 1st, which at the near end of the film, they kill several students and then kill themselves in the process, which is all being viewed for the school surveillance cameras. But way before the tragedy, you can see that the two live their lives normally, and by that I mean that they are talking to their parents, hanging out with each other, and so on. This can show you that even psychopaths can act normal on the outside, and not show the way a stereotypical psychopath in a movie might act or something. You can see how normal they act, which makes it very disturbing considering the fact that nobody around them knows about their plan and that they aren't dealing with any personal issues. Speaking of personal issues, I did mention that these two have gone through some difficult times. The day before the tragedy, Andre and Cal talk about how they were bullied at school and all of these beliefs about being a god for doing this, and that what they're going to do will be, and I quote, the most respectful and loving thing we can do. This truly shows how fucked up in the head these two are, giving the most disturbing excuses for doing this. There is another scene in the movie where Andre and Cal are burning up all of their video games, books, movies, etc. This is because they don't want the news or any media to think that the violence these two will commit on 0 Day was linked to any of the things they found enjoyment in. I find it very interesting how they both don't want anyone to be blamed for gun violence in schools and other acts of cruelty. They even said later on that none of their parents are aware of their plan and they don't want to blame them for it. It's almost like they have a small sense of morality left in them, that it's making them somewhat care about how the media might point their fingers at the violence and what these two used to enjoy. For example, like the violence in a video game like Mortal Kombat. But before the last few days of the tragedy, the many scenes where Cal and Andre are being normal, like nothing is happening, is very unsettling for the audience. We know what these two are going to do, but all we can do is watch them get closer to 0 Day as time goes on. There's absolutely nothing you can do to stop them, which can be so unnerving to think about. The movie can also make you feel like you are a part of the whole story and their own lives. You can see Cal even discussing the plan by himself at some points, and the fact that he sounds so calm about it is just so chilling. And all of this is why I think that 0 Day is the most disturbing found footage movie I've probably ever seen, because of how realistic the characters act and how this can happen at any point, at any day. There just has to be two students who have gone through difficult experiences to do something like this. So you know how I said that Andre and Cal killed themselves after killing a bunch of students in their school? After they kill themselves, that's not actually the end of the movie. So basically, after that whole tragedy, there is another last scene that you get to see, where there's a group of 4 students going to the school's memorial, and it gets kind of confusing at first, but then you see Cal and Andre's graves, and you begin starting to figure out what exactly these 4 are gonna do. They straight up just burn the 2 crosses and then make a run for it back to their car. And at the end, you see the crosses caught in flames from a distance as they drive by, and then the end credits roll. In my opinion, that was such an amazing ending. Not only did they do it for the vengeance of the students who died, but remember when Andre said that he and Cal are both gods that are doing a respectful and loving thing? The fires on both of their crosses do not mean that they are gods. It's actually symbolism that they are both going to hell, because fires are usually symbols of punishment and suffering, which is what Andre and Cal will experience for the murders that they committed. Now this was a lot to talk about, and I probably just repeated myself at some points, but I just adored this film so much for showing the true psychology of teenagers who want to shoot at their schools, in which they show the main problem for this can be bullying and other traumatic events in their lives, and also the isolation from other students can make them feel left out from the world, which you can kind of see in some scenes where some other students might think they're weird, or they just don't like them in general. And the fact that these two have a lot in common, making them really good friends and planning out to kill other people, is really just fucked up. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I will see you all in another video. Bye!